Hello again, everyone. It's James Newman here again on the Pursuit of Enlightenment podcast. This is episode 3, and I'm sharing the lessons that I've learned and written down in my book, The Pursuit of Enlightenment, which is what I'm really following through in each episode. So each episode's a new chapter that I want to talk about. Is this a concept of making more time in my life where I am fully present. And I know that those are loaded words. So what do I mean when I say fully present? Like just before I started this, I've been doing a lot of messing around with lighting and all that stuff you've got to do to try and make it look half decent. And I realized my brain's not here. It's just thinking about technical things. And that's not a problem. It's thinking about, how do I get my audio right? How do I get my lighting right? How do I get my position right? And those are good left brain kind of just sorting out logically what needs to happen, planning, but that's not the place that I want to dwell in all the time. And some of us are in our left brains the entire time, planning, synthesizing, thinking, overthinking, right? Making visual landscape in our brains that we're living in. We're kind of almost trapped in a virtual mental space that is like a virtual reality that we can create in our minds that makes humans very powerful. The fact that we can create futures, we can visualize what will happen. That's what's made us so successful as a species. But the problem is we can get trapped in this mind prism, a prism of ideas, of concepts that are destroying our ability to be in our body and present with what's actually happening. And so it's like a graven image, if I want to call back to my Christian vocabulary again. It's like a graven image of God in a sense. A graven image of God meaning, if you've been into a temple and you see a picture of Jesus on a cross, or you go into a Buddhist temple and you see Buddha, that's not Buddha, that's not Jesus. Being in front of the real Jesus when he was here on earth, being in front of the real Buddha when he was here on earth, would be a whole different experience. The information input is like 1,000 million X. It's just like being in front of your loved one. When you have to talk to someone on Skype, it's not as good, is it? There's something missing. And it's the same with our minds. Our minds can become a prison of ideas and thoughts, abstract concepts that destroy and rob us of our present moment. And so my whole purpose in doing this podcast is for me and you to learn ways to be able to go from that place of mental abstract and come back into the body whenever we want. Because I know from my experience, before I started to really wake up and understand that I could move back and forth from those places, I was just stuck in my mental abstract space. And it is like a prison. It's like the Buddhists call it, or a Maya. Maya is an illusion. It's a fantasy. And that fantasy robs us of being alive. So I've been going over the things that I find that veil or draw me into that prison of mental abstraction and learning ways to come back out of it into the present moment now. So just before I started this, I just grounded myself, and there's so many different ways to do it. But what I did is I just do a little, you might want to do it with me now and just be present with me right now. So you just do a little in breath of 4 and then out 8. If you do that a couple of times, suddenly you're just drawn out. It's like you got to wake up. Oh, here I am in my body. I'm not in some abstract virtual reality inside my head, which is what most of us, I think, are doing. So I'm going through these in my book, The Pursuit of Enlightenment. The first chapter is in episode 2, which I I briefly sort of started talking about. And the best way for you to really get deeper into that is to go on Amazon. I've got the links there, and have a look at the book and read the chapters yourself and use it as a practice. I think it's not specifically meant for teaching, but it's what I've done. And sometimes, we learn best by just following someone else's lead. So I'm giving you a potential lead of how I've developed the ability to snap out of that virtual world in my mind and come in and be part of what's actually going on, which is so beautiful, so glorious. When you're in that present moment, there's a real sense of being alive, fully alive. And so last week I talked about one of the veils, which is the past. And the past, as I said, traps us because it has deep emotional anchors often. We're often looking for a past joy and wanting to recreate it, or we're regretting the loss of a past joy. And that seeking of the past can trap us in that virtual prison. And that's robbing the present of real life, because unless you're here right now in your body, you're not really experiencing life as it is right now, and it's in its infinite complexity. It's like you have to open the filter. When you're living in a virtual world of memories, which are really just, like I said before, recordings over recording over recording over recording, and not really what happened, and it's only a recording of a snippet of what happened, then the sense of being here now is completely lost. And I think that is a tragedy that I don't want to do, and I do it as much as anyone, but I have learned a couple of times a day just to snap out of it. For example, you could be sitting at the lights, and I do a lot of driving, I Uber drive, and I'm sitting at the lights. In the past, I could have sat there and just like, okay, and I see people do it next to me, they're like revving a little bit and they're pulling forward slightly, it's like, because they just want to go as soon as they're allowed to. It's like we can't stand being in the same spot. We're always going to the next place. We've got to go there, got to get out of here. I remember Seinfeld did a funny joke about going out and how we're always talking about, let's go out, and we're planning it. And like, when are we going to go out and where are we going to go? And I'll see you there at the place that we're going to. And then we go out, and as soon as we get there, we look around and we go, let's go home. Let's get out of here. I'm not doing a very good job of it, but it's so true. It's so true. And at the lights there, I can see myself being tempted to be like, zoom, 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 let's go. But actually, it's an opportunity of the universe just saying, just enjoy your little pause. Just sit there. Look at what's all around you. Be present. See the people walking around, the trees, the city, the sun shining, feel it on your skin. And just go, right now it's pretty good. And so this chapter I'm talking to is the second veil that I've learned, which is the future. And when I say the future, we have to define that a little bit, because in reality there is no future. Just like I said last week, there's no past. Future is really just an abstraction, once again, of your own mind. And that's powerful, because being able to plan into the future, maybe go over 100 or 1,000 different possible outcomes and plan the one where you don't die, or the one where you're most successful, that's a really powerful skill. And so I'm never saying that what the left brain does isn't powerful and important and a huge advantage for you. What I'm saying is, as humans who have developed the skill, we've lost the ability to just do what actually we're here for, which is to experience life in this present moment right now, where everything's happening all at once. In high definition, with the best sound quality you can get, and all of the wind on your skin, the sun on your skin, the smells, the sounds, the sensations of your body. Those things are all happening now, but we're losing them because we're in the future. Just like at the lights, everybody's sitting there and they're not thinking about themselves now. They're thinking, I got to get going, I got to go to work, I got to go and see what's her name. There might not even be a rush. It's like, I just don't want to be here now. How often are you and I living in a mental space where we don't want to be where we are right now? That's such a loss, don't you think? You're here right now, and you're always here right now. Unfortunately, you escape to the future point. You get through the lights and you're driving down the road, and you're looking down the road and you're looking at the green lights, and you think, shit, I hope it stays. I hope it doesn't change to red. Oh, I changed to red. Oh no. You're there. You're looking at the lights where you're going, making a plan of what you're going to do when you get there. And then you get there, and then you do the same thing again. You're like, I've got to get out of here, got to get out of here. You go. Okay, you finally get home. You sit down, put on the television. You just sit there, or you get on your phone and flick. And once again, you've left your body. Your body's sitting there, neglected, because you've gone off to some other future abstraction. And that's what I'm trying to avoid, and that's what I'm trying to show you what I've learned. And so in this chapter, I explore the veil of the future and talk about how the future for me can be a place I very often get lost in, because I love planning. I love, making my life more efficient. I love getting progress. They're all good things. But what that can mean is that my body is left behind, and I explore the mental space that I have, which is cool. But God, if I'm always in my head, never in my body, never present here, and I do that for my whole 70, 80 years or whatever I get, wow, what a shame. What a shame. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. Like I said, I was a fundamental Christian for 20 years, and I learned so much from that, as I said before, but one of the downsides with it, and I think with a lot of that monotheistic religions, is everything gets deferred to heaven. And so I really got involved in that concept. I really believed it. I believed that heaven was my destination, and now was just the time that I do the work for God, so that I guess when I get to heaven, I have a sense that I did the right thing for God, and I'd be rewarded for it. It's hard for me to put into words why exactly. And I remember getting so deep in it that I put aside a lot of my dreams. Like, I really love traveling. I want to see the world. I want to see Rome. I want to see Athens. I want to go to the States. I want to go to South America and dance in the streets. I want to see as much of the world as I can. I want to go to India. I want to go to an ashram. I want to sit with different people. I want to see different things. But as a Christian at the time, I thought, I can't waste my time doing that. I have to do the work of God. And so I just thought, well, you know what, I'll do that in heaven. And I think, you might be a Christian and go, oh yeah, it makes sense. Or you might not be and go, that's silly. But it's just an analogy of what we all do, really. We're often putting our minds into a future place, and that's where the reward is. We're chasing a carrot. And the carrot is the future golden goodie, when everything's going to be all right, everything's going to be great. Now, I love planning for the future as much as anyone. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, because I don't want to be present right all the time, because I want to play around in my virtual mental space and have ideas and bring those ideas and imagination into the present and manifest it. I'm planning to go overseas this year, and I love planning that and thinking about it. I don't want to be doing that all the time. I love going through my budget. I'm a bit of a geek, I like making it more efficient. I've been doing that this week with ChatGPT a bit, just like working through my budget. How can I save money here and there? But I don't want to do that all the time. I don't want to do that 100% of my life. what would be good? At least 20% I'm not doing that. I'm just sitting, enjoying a sunset, sitting, enjoying the feel of the ocean breeze, smelling it, being present with my loved ones and my friends. That's what I want to be doing. I want to be in that flow that comes from being present. I've been doing something a little bit different because I talked a couple of weeks ago about how I can just get up and do my routine. And, it's so mechanical and planned that, like I said, I'm like a zombie, boop, 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 and I'm off. And I have missed the entire morning in routine and automatum. And what I've been trying to do lately is just do the little things that I have to do, but be present with them. So I'm present when I'm making my coffee and when I'm blending my protein shake. It's so routine, but there's a certain flow to it now. It's like a dance. I get it. And I'm not going, right, I want to get that really done quick so I can do the next thing. And I can get that really done quick because I can do the next thing, which is a real temptation for me because I love being efficient. No, I don't do that anymore. I'm trying not to do that. Like, I'm just flowing through each of those and thinking, this is like a dance. I'm just doing that and I'm just fully focused on it. And then I know what the next thing is because I've done it a million times and I do that. And I know what the next thing is. And I'm getting this joy out of just dancing through my morning routine. And I think I want to bring more of that into my life. I want to bring more presence into just the routine, mundanity of life rather than going, got to get this done so I can do the next thing quicker. Got to get this done so I can get in the car and I can start Ubering, or I've got to get this done so I can go, whatever it is, I think that's really important. And so one thing that I learned from my Christian experience was deferring the current experience of now into a future heaven is a real mistake. Because I suspect that heaven is now. And I experience that when I'm present, when I'm in that flow state, when I'm enjoying the mundane things, fully present with them, enjoying the movement of them, the feel of it. I suspect heaven's now. Jesus said, people look here and they look there for the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven isn't there. It's not in the past. It's not in the future. The kingdom of heaven is in you. It's within you. You have the ability to create a sense of heaven in your body right now. You also have an ability to create an inner hell of torment. And the real secret is that you're the one who is in control of which state that is. I spent a lot of my early childhood and teenage years totally unaware of that. It wasn't until my early 20s when I had my first little, a wake up. And it was slow, but profound and powerful. Before that, honestly, it felt like I was a bit trapped. I had great joys and sadness and trouble, and that's all there was. It was just whatever the experience was that I was having, that was all I could do. I didn't realize I had control over it. It wasn't until I started to realize, there's another place I can go to, which is right now. And in that right now moment, you get a little step back, half step. I like to think of it like that, and what's going on in your mental state. I think waking up or enlightenment really is just realizing that you aren't your mental state. You aren't your emotions. You aren't your mind. You aren't that virtual prison that you've been trapped in. You're not a character in some story that it's out of control. You in some ways I'm narrating the story. And practicing being present allows you to break out of that mental state and be here now. And so you're at the lights and you realize, oh, I'm just waiting for those lights to go and I'm wasting this precious 30 seconds. Or I could just be fully present right now. And it can be real bliss. You can have bliss in that 30 seconds sitting at the lights. Why wouldn't you want that? Would you rather be stressed and anxious and racing for the next thing? Or would you rather use that 30 seconds to go, oh, that's right, I'm here. I'm in my body, I'm in my car. There's the sounds, there's the sunlight, there's the trees, there are the people. I'm alive. I'm in a real world. That's what I'm trying to get to. So I continue to explore that concept in the book, and there's another really good verse I read in the Bhagavad Gita. And I'm gonna read it because I haven't memorized it, so I think it's nice to just have the actual verse. So this is in the Bhagavad Gita. I'll read it to you. It's very short, and when I read it, I just thought, boom, that's important. I got to figure out what that means for me. So it's the path of enlightenment is to work without attachment to the fruit. So the path of enlightenment is the work without attachment to the fruit. Yeah, that's obscure, right? What's the fruit? And what's the work? Well, the work is what you're doing right now. What's the fruit? That's the future goodie that you're kind of like straining towards right now. So say you aren't stuck in the past, sitting at the lights, remembering what happened and how embarrassing it was last night, or how wonderful it was last night. You're stuck in the future going, okay, I got to get through these lights right now because, well, what's the fruit? Well, the fruit of that's going to be like, get there like 2 seconds faster. Yeah, boys, that's going to be great. And it sounds stupid when you think about it, but we're doing that all the time. I see it all the time. I do it. How ridiculous is that? And so enlightenment is the work. Enjoying the work is doing the work. Now, what is the work? Work's the karma. Karma is the thing that you're doing right now in your body. What am I doing right now in my body? Well, I'm talking to you. I'm sitting here and I'm enjoying these ideas and sharing them. That's the work. What's the fruit? Well, the fruit could be, someone might buy my book. Someone might give me heaps of likes or comments. I might get really validated by people going, oh, I really like what you had to say. You know, fruit might be getting blown up on a platform or going viral. You know, making money from it, from this. Now, if I spent my whole time here thinking about that, doing it for that, I've destroyed it. I've destroyed the work. Because the work's happening right now. Say I do manage to gain a lot of followers and people watch this and the book goes to 1 million sales. I'll be sitting there with all of that and I won't be able to enjoy it because I'll be thinking, what's the next thing? Or I'll be thinking, oh, I hope I don't lose it. Oh, I'm going to make the next video even better. If I don't learn how to be present right now, when I achieve this goodie, this golden goodie that I'm running towards, I won't be able to enjoy it then either because it'll still be now. I'll still be exactly where I was now, in the present moment in my body, totally unable to enjoy it. And you hear that all the time. People achieve something wonderful. Like I finished my PhD last year. It took 5 years. And I remember about 3 years into it thinking, oh my God, it's going to feel so good when I've done this. I'm going to be just so exhilarated. And you know what? It was a pretty good feeling. But it wasn't anywhere near as good as what I was expected. And it went away really quickly. And then I was thinking, what's next? in your biochemical pathways, dopamine is it feels good. Dopamine feels good and it's able to motivate you to achieve a goal. And the closer it looks like you're getting to that goal and the greater the goodie that you're going to get, or the treasure that's the end of that pathway, the more the dopamine hit. When I'm on a real dopamine run, God, I can't sleep enough. I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm just so excited to get going again. That's what it does. And the dopamine hits you while you're moving towards a goal. Like they say, the journey is more important than the destination. There's all these classic lines. And it's basically a metaphor for dopamine. And when I was thinking that back in my PhD, when I was 3 years in or so, I remember talking to someone and saying, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy that process though, because this is really amazing that I get to do this. This is something I've wanted to do for so long. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm not going to wait until it's finished. I'm going to enjoy it while it's happening. And I think that is what I'm trying to say. The future veils now. It obscures what is really happening. It obscures your life. It steals from your life. Like the past is a vampire. The future is like one of those mermaids that sings a song, calls the sailors to jump into the ocean. It calls you out of life, and in the process brings death. Now, I keep saying this, but I'm not saying don't plan for the future, but can we be spending 100% of our time in our minds? Some people, I suspect, spend most of their life in their minds, and it's kind of like a living hell. I remember I was a teacher for 20 years, and towards the end of that career, I remember sitting in a staff room with a bunch of other teachers, and they were near retirement. They maybe had, I don't know, maybe 5 years, 2 years left. And they'd counted down the days that they had to do before they could retire. Maybe say it was 5 years. Because when they retire, it's going to be the golden goodie. I felt really disturbed by it. Actually, probably is part of the reason I got out of it. It kind of like added to the layers of reasons I didn't want to teach anymore. I saw them selling life. It's like a deal with the devil. I sell my soul for some dream, for wish fulfillment. And I felt like if I do what they're doing, because I wasn't enjoying teaching anymore. I'd done 20 years, it's very hard, it's very exhausting, and I'd had enough, I wanted to do something else. But it's tempting, when you're in an institution to not become institutionalized and think, well, I can't do anything else. This is all I can do. I'm stuck in this job and I have to do it. And I might as well ride it out. Those guys, I felt like they were sacrificing their life in the next 5 years of their life for some goal. Retirement. And how often when do you see, especially men, reach retirement and they get depressed because they no longer have meaning, because the work was giving them meaning, but they didn't like it. They got through it, they got retirement, and they realised maybe a month in, how bored. They still weren't able to be present because they'd never learnt it, because they kept pushing to the future. They kept pushing towards the future goodie, the golden goodie in the sky, the heaven that they were running for. Retirement, that was the heaven of this, it's Australian dream of heaven. And I'm afraid that if I don't learn to be present and enjoy now, when I reach these golden goodies, these future future heavens, I won't be able to enjoy it then either, because I hadn't learned to enjoy it now. And then, you're 65, you're 67, you spent your whole life doing the right thing, and you realise you might have missed a lot of your life because you spent it all looking for the future. And so that's what I want to share with you. I don't want to do that, and I hope you don't want to do that. Instead of pushing hard into the future, start to enjoy the simple treasures that are now. The kingdom of heaven that's within you, kingdom of heaven that's all around you, the bliss pervading each moment. That's what I'm hoping to do more, and I hope that you could do more with that. It reminds me of a verse. I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee, if that's all right. That's good. I want to share a verse from Jesus. I'll read it out. It popped into my mind when I was thinking about this. I wrote it in the book. So I'll read it to you. So I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you eat or what you drink, or about your body or what you will wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothes? But seek first the kingdom of heaven and righteousness, and all these things will be given to you. I really love that verse. I think that's a profound, beautiful statement that sums up exactly what I'm trying to say. Do not worry about what you eat or drink. Do not worry about what you will wear. Life provides those things. And you have to work, and you have to save, and you have to pay your bills. But if you spend your entire time worrying about what you eat and drink and what you will wear, or how am I going to retire, or how am I going to get more stuff so I can be the same as my neighbours and my friends? How can I get that better car? How can I get a better phone? How can I make life better in the future? And right now, I suspect the kingdom of heaven is just waiting. It's just waiting right here now. I don't think we are here to spend all of our time in some mental abstract called the future, which isn't even real. Future is imagination, it's Maya, it's fantasy, it's a virtual reality. You can't be there. It literally doesn't exist. And so, why would you trade the glory of being alive right now? Why would you get that glory? Give it to the devil, in a sense, saying, "Hey, I'll give you this I'll give up being alive right now so that I can have a future where I'm happy and I got everything I need." And the devil's like, yeah. And I'm not saying I believe in the devil. I'm just saying it's a great metaphor. And, those blues singers at the Crossroads, I always love those movies. They go to the crossroads and they were pretty good at music already. And the devil kind of knew that. And they were like, make me go viral, And then he's like, yeah, okay, sure. I just need one thing. He's like, sounds good. What do you got? What do you need? And he's like, anything. And he's like, I just want your soul. And you give up your soul and you gain that, but the whole time you're not present. And so in some ways, the future can be like doing a deal with the devil. Living in the future is like doing a deal with the devil. You already have what you need. It's the real trick. It's like those stories where, the end of it, they realize they already had what they want. It's like the hero's journey. You go on some great trial and tribulation, and then you end up home, back where you started, but now you appreciate it. And what about we just appreciate home now, and your body is your home? Whether you like your body or not, that's your home. And it actually has a lot to offer being in it present. And so Jesus is saying, don't seek those things. What's more valuable, the body or the clothes you put on it? What's more valuable, the food or the body that it feeds? It's calling you back to embodiment. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is now. I suspect. I think that's what Jesus is saying. And so I just want to share that with you, that I think the future can really hinder and take away from the beautiful things that we have right now. And so even as we're sitting here with each other, how about we just settle, breathe, be present with each other, be present with our environment, and let go of that future golden goodie for now. You can come back to it later. The ideas will still be there. But right now, how about you just come back and maybe if you do that a few times a day or once a day at the lights, anytime you have space, when you're waiting in line in a queue, just come back and go, what's happening now? I had to sit in the Department of Transport yesterday. It took quite a while. Was it yesterday or Monday? I don't know, it doesn't matter. And it looked like it's going to take a while. A lot of people there. I could have easily been distracted, thinking, I would rather be out making money. I know I've got to do this, but this is probably the wrong time. Maybe I should come back later. They're pretty efficient there. They do a pretty good job. And I thought to myself, I spent a little bit of time getting to get some things done, and then I just sat there and I just went back in my body and I felt that joy that comes up when I'm in my body. There's a real joy in this present moment right now. It's quite amazing. And I just sat there and I just thought, this is nice. I'm in a comfortable room. I'm getting something I needed to get done. Soon I'm going to be able to talk to someone, I'll get it done. Enjoying the people walking around. People are amazing. People are fascinating. Just enjoy it. Enjoy what's going on right in front of you right now, rather than selling the life you have now for some abstract golden future that will never actually exist, because when you get there, it'll still be now. And so I want to leave you with that. If you want to look into that more, you got this far with me, you're obviously loving it. How about you go on to the links? If you're seeing this on YouTube or wherever you're seeing it, go to the links, and Pursuit of Enlightenment, it's on Amazon. There's an ebook, it's $10. You can read the first chapter for free. Have a look at it. Or start a conversation with me here. We can talk about it here, wherever you are. I really hope that it helps you take back the life that's slipping past you all the time, and that in some ways you're unaware of. You don't want to be stuck in that virtual prison. You want to be right here, right now, whenever you feel like it. So I think I'll leave you with that. It's been a real pleasure once again sharing with you. So subscribe if you're on YouTube here, and leave some comments, share, and check out my stuff. I've got a lot of stuff online. I've got my book, I got this podcast that's going. I've got writing on Substack. It's all there in my link. I also got music that I write songs that sort of encapsulate, sort of crystallize the ideas. And so I try to put them into music. So have a look at that, Sad Newman. Until next time, it's been a pleasure talking to you. And remember, Now is all there is. So, peace out.